Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Jordan, and I would like to thank each one of you for watching my constructive argument presentation. I will be presenting a negative viewpoint of why a corporation should not employ workers in foreign countries under the same conditions as American workers. I believe culture is one of the largest impactful barriers to why corporations should not employ workers in foreign countries under the same conditions as American workers. I will start my first heading, which is to define culture, as there is no agreed definition of culture in a workforce discussion. Culture in itself is the ideas, customs, and social behaviors of a particular people or society. By its nature, culture has been defined in many ways as a particular group, and in so doing, that group distinct from others. It's twofold in description. It separates people from one another, yet it creates a community. That community does not have to be a country. It can be ethnic, religious, professional, or corporate. Given the difficulties involved, it can be tempting for HR functions or corporate leaders in general to ignore cultural issues or to seek an unthinking, least common denominator approach to the differences. Teaching and embedding a common organization culture is widely viewed as a critical success factor, particularly for multinational firms. My second heading is cultural complexities. While the community concept is a key distinction for societal culture, there are other critical layers to take into account when trying to understand its impact on global workforce. For example, first, culture is multifaceted. Customs and ideals are the most readily visible manifestations, but underlying these are ideals, often religious or philosophical, broadly shared within a group that can have a profound effect on people's self-understanding and even identity as well as on how they act. The ability of foreign executives to do the latter may be essential for a negotiation, but it does not mean they understand the potentially relevant implications. Second, excuse me. Second, culture is borderless. A meta-analysis of intra-national compared with international differences found greater variety within countries than between countries. One important reason for this variety is the notion of agency, that people can and do make independent choices. Another is that culture is not exclusive. Instead, people are simultaneously part of overlapping, sometimes even apparently contradictory cultures through circumstance and choice. Third, corporate culture is another matter. This comprises the values, beliefs, and practices of the company and is created either by design or is naturally based on personalities of executives. Employees learn the culture through training and by observation. Corporate culture may include practices such as integrity, frugality, and giving back to the community. Some corporations require all employees globally to adopt its culture of ethics, safety, and personal leadership. Organizations that ignore the issues of culture and cultural integration will likely face difficulties attracting, retaining, and motivating the best workers or outright failure. My fourth heading is cultural issues in the workplace. While the true impact of cultural differences in the workplace is challenging to measure, it is clear that the drivers of global workforce will and can lead to the breakdown in corporate homogeneity. The multicultural environment facing global and local employers alike manifests itself on a number of different levels. At a very basic level, culturally appropriate communications and nonverbal business etiquette are essential to success in running international teams or engaging in negotiation with foreign firms. The benefits and necessities of being polite may seem obvious, but it also requires knowing what the other person thinks is polite. For instance, how would you receive Chinese and Japanese business cards in a formal, almost ritualistic way? In conclusion, culture then matters too much and impacts too many facets of business for companies to ignore. The concept, however, is a diffuse one and difficult to make actionable. In this sense, understanding how culture might affect the company and implications for talent management requires some consideration or what the word does and does not mean. Indeed, it is often all too convenient excuse. Studies have noted that more experienced executives tend to credit their own skills for success in cross-border, blame failures on cultural differences. For all the above reasons, culture is one of the largest impactful barriers to why a corporation should not employ workers in foreign countries under the same conditions as American workers. Thank you for your consideration and time.